Hey everybody, welcome. It's Testimony House, new John Simmons here, Pinecone Studios, where we make videos to help you write God's sentence for your life, talking to people who are writing out God's sentence for life, and nobody better than Alan Clay, owner of Haircuts Barbershop, multiple locations in the St. Louis area. Man, you got set up cutting hair at a young age.
Yeah, it's by the way, thank you for having me here.
Yes.
Man, it's a pleasure. I started cutting hair at the age of 13 and I've never stopped.
That's wild.
13.
What happened at 13?
So during that time period, and tell my age, it was in the late 80s.
Okay.
It was the late 80s during that time. And hip hop was becoming what it was, right? You had the dress, you had the hairstyles, which was paramount. You had all these different designs and different types of haircuts and everything, and the stuff was crisp and it was sharp and it was a work of art. I was fascinated by it
Really?
as a kid, right? And so I used to draw all the time. I was always drawing everything. And so I would fill up pieces of paper with profiles of haircuts. So I was seeing this stuff in my heart before it ever manifested. I was seeing it as a young boy. I was seeing it. It was in here, and it would come out on this piece of paper. And man, one day I'm in the store with my mom, and I asked her, "Can I get these clippers?" And she bought them, to my surprise.
Wow.
She bought the clippers. And so my nephew, my sister's son, was a year old at the time. And one of his uncles, his dad's brothers, used to cut his hair. He was a baby. And he used to try to give him the haircuts that I'm seeing on paper, but they weren't good. It bothered me, right? So when nobody was looking, I would just grab a comb and some shit, and I would clean it up. It looks better. Something would go off on the inside of me every time I
Really?
did it. Yeah. And so then when I got the clippers, I just jumped in the mirror. I'm gonna cut my hair like 3 times dope. It was just
What does that mean?
three times dope. It was a rap group back in the day.
Right.
And the guy had this haircut. So you heard of the Gumby, right? Where
Yeah.
it was like,
Oh yeah.
so
yeah.
3 times dope haircut. He had the Gumby, but instead of be pointed, it was rounded. So he had half a fro on this side, and he had a fade, and it was. So I said, "I'm gonna get that 3 times." It didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, man. And it went from me cutting my baby nephew's hair and my hair. Then my stepdad was like, "Hey, come, give me just line me up, clean me up." And then him, and then my 2 male cousins that lived downstairs, because it was this apartment we lived in. Then it was them. And then it ended up being my friends in the neighborhood. Then everybody at school. I'm skipping class in the bathroom, cutting hair in the locker room. And it just never stopped. It literally, like, every single day of my life, it never stopped.
Yeah, I find that fascinating because we talk about in writing God's sentence for your life that you need 3 things to write God's sentence for your life: passion, vision, and faith.
Yeah.
It starts with passion. You will passion for God first to find the real passion, but also a passion for something.
Yeah.
Right? And God puts those things in us.
Yep.
Before we even get started, we don't even know what they are. We sort of learn along the way. But something for you, like you was like, let me get a pair of clips.
I just wanted a pair of clippers.
My daughter just asked for a drum set.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't know. She could be the best drummer ever made 20
You don't
years
know
from
where
now.
it's going to go.
Right.
And so the interesting thing is, I'm just as passionate now about that particular area as I was way back then.
Yeah.
I remember I never had the vision to have a barbershop until later. That didn't come to years later. So every job I had, I would be in the back room cutting somebody's hair. I would be in the break room cutting somebody's hair, or in the back warehouse cutting somebody's hair. Stuff like that was always happening.
Like at other jobs and stuff.
Yeah, every other job I had up to that point. And then when I was probably around 20 years old, because I was in college at SLU at St. Louis University, miserable, couldn't stand it. I'm in the school of business, pre-law student, doing all that stuff. Man, it was horrible. I thought that's what I wanted to do. Man, I'm calling guys at the barbershop. What y'all doing? I'm coming through after I leave class, that type of thing. And I would go and I would be there with them. And then I was about probably in my third year. And I said, man, forget this. I'm going to barber school. So I saved up some money and I enrolled in this school. I said, man, this feel like it's too good to be true.
Wow.
Sure enough, it was. Because the school closed 2 months in. Yeah, we were there in class one day. Everything was great. I mean, it was perfect, man.
It's just scissors and combs. What are we?
School got shut down, bro. And it was called International Hair Institute. I never forget it. It was in Ferguson, South Florissant. And the sheriff came in there. One day we're in class And he said,
Didn't know
get
it
all
was
your
dangerous.
stuff. He said, get all your stuff because you're not coming back in. We said, man, like, and the guy that owned the school, he crying. What you crying for? You knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Type
yeah.
of thing. So, yeah, man, we walked out of there, and it felt like, what just happened? You know, you get that gut punch, that punch in the stomach. That's what it felt like. I was like, man, I was on my way, and because man, he was a great guy. He treated us well, and the training was what it was. But there was something I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what it was, you know, at the time. And so, interesting enough, talk about writing God's sentence for your life. The very next day, so school ends for me on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm in this little place, and they had I was going to file taxes, and there was this Jackson Hewitt place I was going to. But right next door to it was this guy that was opening a barbershop. He had newspaper on the windows, but I could look in there and see him in there cutting. Look, the guy in there cutting hair. So I opened the door, went in, and I started talking to him. Didn't know him, he didn't know me. Talked for hours. Then finally he said, hey, grab your stuff, come work with me tomorrow.
Wow.
And I was like, you for real? He's like, yeah, I'm for real. Man, he put me down, bro. I never forgot it. And I was there for him for months, man. Probably about a good 5 or 6 months. 5 or 6 months until somebody came and poached me.
Oh, it didn't take long to grow in your gifts, it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, so it was one of those things where I can understand it now. I didn't at the time. I had favor in this particular area. I was highly favored with this guy. It wasn't his shop. I didn't know it wasn't his shop. The guys that really owned it were absentee owners. I met them, ended up having great favor with the two of them to the point where they were doing things for me, right? And it's like, I just had favor. And I was like, yo, what's happening? You know what I mean? It was crazy, bro. So
I find that fascinating because one of the things you talked about was that like you were in school thinking you wanted to do something, but you had that just like gut feeling, right? Similarly, like I was at the high school radio station. I just knew I needed to be in radio. It was like the only thing I ever cared about as a child. And then when I started college, because they told me, you want to be in radio, got to go to communications or whatever, you know? And so I'm at the college and I'm like, I want to do communications. I want to be on the radio. And they're like, well, you need to take psychology, you need to take math and biology so you can get to your communications classes. And I'm sitting in all those classes. I'm just like dying inside.
Right.
This is not anything I want to do. Right. I'm there for 2 years before I hear an ad on the radio. It says Broadcast Center in St. Louis, be on the radio, take our trade school or whatever. And I was like, Mom, I'm dropping out. I'm doing this.
Right.
And that was what set me on the path to get educated in communication, got me a degree in that, got me a job at the radio station, and I'm living life. Now, it wasn't until Sin Issue showed up and I'm starting to gamble and stuff that things got turned around. But that thing that's inside of you from the very beginning.
From the very beginning.
Your gifts and talents make room for you. Every time I'm in a situation like you were with your cutting hair, you have the favor, right? It's like if I enter a situation where I'm at a radio station, I get promoted, or if I'm in the communications job, I get promoted.
Broadcast, media.
Anytime I'm around this environment,
you have favor.
Things go off that weren't going off when I was taking the path that everyone told me I needed to take.
Absolutely. So check this out. It gets interesting. So I get poached. I mean, I end up going to work at another shop. This barber that I wanted to work in his shop, he came and got me. He said, bro, you need to come down here where I am. I was like, man, I can't. My man gave me a shot. I can't just leave him like that. He said, no, I'm telling you, the money down here. I just had 5 barbers leave. You need to come down here and see. So I'm like, all right, let me go see. Let me just go see what he's saying. Sure enough, it was everything he said. I went in there, man, right away. I made some real money. I'm like, I made more money in one day than I did.
Wow.
So I was like, so I kept going. So I was working at both of them.
All right. 2 jobs. Hey.
But so I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm not telling the original guy what I'm doing. And he knew it. He said, he came to me one day after a few weeks went by. He said, hey, man, I know what you're doing. And I was like,
oh.
He said, no. He said, listen, go where the money is. You got my blessing. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to hold you back. He said, we good. Just go. I said, you sure? He said, I'm sure. So he gave me his blessing and sent me on. I went down there, man. 5 years went by. 5 years went by. I forgot. Now think about this. I forgot that I never finished school, so I don't have a license. 5 years went by.
Oh, was that a thing? You need a license to do it?
Yeah, you're supposed to be licensed.
Okay.
Right? And I was in the position to get it. That's why I was in the school. Okay. I wasn't in school to learn. I was in school.
You needed the certification.
I needed the certification, but I wanted to hone my craft at the same time, right? I wanted to be better at it. And I ended up getting better through trial and error. by just doing it versus, you know what I'm saying? I had used what little training I had got into my advantage or whatever. But being around those other guys, I learned so much more.
Yeah.
Well, 5 years went by that fast. And during the course of that 5 years, I think I got saved around toward the end of that 5 years. So now you got spirit comes alive. You got a heart change about some things.
Yeah.
Conviction started to set in.
It's interesting, before you get into your safe story, your gifts were there before Jesus showed up.
Absolutely.
So he puts them in us.
From the beginning.
Knowing,
Yep.
like, look, you get them no matter what.
He said, walk this out. Walk it out.
Yeah. So, okay, so how does Jesus show up?
Well, through a guy I used to cut his hair. He used to come to the barbershop thumping that Bible every week. Man, we don't hear all that, man. Go ahead with all that stuff. Right?
Dude, I remember there was a guy who was like, we were drinking every Tuesday, and I got sick because I had some strokes when I was in my 20s, and he's like, "Can I pray with you?" And I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. I didn't want him to pray for me. I was having strokes in the hospital. I was like, "Get away from me with that Jesus stuff." You know? It's wild.
Every week, man, he came in, man. He said, "Man, the Lord." I said, "Man, I told you, I'm gonna put a plug in your head. You keep all right. I'm gonna mess your hair up." He kept on. He stayed with it. He was obedient. And so it was through him, he introduced me. You know, actually what he did, he just brought out the seeds that had been planted in me from a kid through my mother, my grandmother, and all that type of stuff. But it just came up.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm probably 23 years old, 24. Just had a daughter during that same time. So I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. I was making some money through some extracurricular activity.
Okay.
I was cutting hair. It was a lot going on during that time. So the Lord showed
It was the
up.
80s and the 90s.
So at this point, we in the late 90s.
Yeah, all right.
We in the late 90s now. We like 98, 99. We up in there. Bro. So I said, I went through all that. At some point I said, okay, Lord, I can't do this anymore. Meaning I didn't want to cut the hair feeling convicted.
Okay.
Knowing that I didn't finish the process. So be careful what you say sometimes, because it might just happen. I said, okay, Lord, you give me a job, I'll walk away cold turkey. That's what I said.
Oh.
I was making pretty good at this point.
Yeah.
Man, sure enough, man, I found a job with a fitness company selling high-end fitness equipment.
Really?
The guy kept calling and calling and calling and calling. He said, man, I've been trying to catch up with you, but the guy won't never give you the message. My stepdad, he was calling my mom's house back when we had the landline. He would never give me the message the guy was calling. And I brought it up one day. He said, oh, yeah, this guy keep calling. So I went and checked it out. He gave me the job. So now I got to honor what I said. I said, all right, well, I walked away cold turkey. I didn't even take my clippers. I left them on the station.
Huh?
I just walked away. I just walked away, right? Now, check this out. I remember the very first day on the job, I'm there. It's warehouse work because we're storing the treadmills and home gyms and all that type of stuff. Bro, this hard work. I'm not used to doing hard work.
You've been lifting.
Look at my hands, man. I don't do hard work, right?
I've been lifting these clippers.
Right.
You're not gonna lift boxes.
So break time came. I left. I'm gonna be on lunch break, right? I walked away. I'm standing at the bus stop, man.
Didn't even make it to lunch. Didn't even make it.
It was lunch. I left. I didn't tell nobody I was leaving. I walked out. I said, I'm going back to the barbershop. And I could, on the inside of me, I could feel all that going on. Like, man, you said what you said. I said, bus took a long time. Never came, right? Mm-hmm. So I just turned around, went on back in the job. Nobody ever knew I was gone, man.
Oh, wow.
That went on for the next 2 years.
2 years you spent there.
2 years I spent there. And during that course of time, now I'm not cutting at all. Talk about favor. How something never leaves you, right? I was attending this church at the time. It was a large, very large church here in St. Louis. And we went on this trip to California, to Los Angeles. My first time going to Los Angeles. It was like a men's advance or whatever. And I roomed with this guy, Corey Stewart. His dad is Highland Stewart, the late Highland Stewart.
Yeah.
I
know Corey.
We were roommates. And me and Corey got to know each other a little bit. And Corey found out I started cutting hair or whatever. So he used to have me cut his hair when we came back. I was cutting his, and his friend, Aaron at the time. So they both started coming to me, come to my house, cut my hair, all that type of stuff. So this was a consistent thing. It was all organic, right? Mm-hmm. We come back from this trip in LA. I get approached by the pastor's secretary. She said, hey, pastor's looking for a new barber. I heard you cut hair. I'm not even cutting at the time. I'm just kind of freelancing, every now and then. I say, yeah, what you talking about? She said, yeah, this is what he wants. She said, he wants you to come every other Tuesday at 6:30. He wants you to come to his office because he don't like going to the public barbershops because of how people act and the stuff that's going on. Would you be willing to do that? I'm like, it was real straightforward. I'm like, yeah, that worked for me.
Yeah.
It worked. So for the next, I guess it was 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. I cut that pastor's hair every other Tuesday at 6:30 in his office.
Wow.
Well, it was a plug. Now, I had another problem. I didn't know what to charge. So he would always say, what do I owe you? I was like, don't worry about it this time. Don't worry about it this time. But it kept happening. So I never took one dime from him because I didn't know what or how to charge.
Yes, set your prices. Set your standard.
But I didn't know the business.
Yes, you got to learn that.
Right, of being a barber. So I never took...
Christians are always at the bottom.
Bro, tell me about it. Right?
Out here doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Not getting paid for any of it.
So he said to me one day, this is how he settled me. He said, you know, every time you do that, you're sewing, right? I was like, really? So I said, well, let me put a little something with that. So I started adding a little.
You paid him to do the haircut.
But interesting enough, check this out. He said I was sewing every time I do that, right?
Yeah.
Let's fast forward. That had to be 2003. Here we are, 2025. I'm still reaping from those seeds that I sowed back then because there are people that still show up, sit in my chair at either of the shops that was members of that church back then.
Yeah. And they pay.
And they pay well. But check this out. I never once solicited not one person.
Wow.
I never solicited one person. I never handed out a business card, never told nobody, come see me, come sit in my chair. None of that. That's those seeds that came up, and I'm still eating up off of it to this day.
That's incredible.
Man, so again, God,
Yes.
writing God.
What happened with the certification, though?
So let me get back. So what ended up happening? While I was doing that, I was working the job, and the boss at the time, you remind me of that boss I had. His name was Scott Farnes. Scott was a great guy. Love Scott. He said to me, he asked me to cut his hair one day. So I cut his hair back in the warehouse, and he gets up like he's mad. I think I did a bad job or something. He go in the room and he shut the door. I'm like, oh man, I made Scott mad, right?
Yeah.
Scott came out a little while later. I said, what's wrong? He said, bro, I just needed a minute. I said, what? He said, man, it's the best haircut I ever got. I said, what? Wow. He said, bro, my wife been cutting my hair. I've been cutting my hair. I just get these jacked up haircuts for years. I ain't never seen this on my head. He said, I had to go in there and call my wife. Right? And he said, no, for now, you cutting my hair? This is my boss telling me this. So talk about confidence, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Other guys in the warehouse. Because I had a chair set up in the warehouse.
That's wild to me.
I had a whole chair set up in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
And so
brought your other job to your paycheck job.
Man, look.
Your calling. You brought your calling.
It brought my calling with me.
Yeah.
And one day we're in the break room and I'm doodling on the whiteboard. What I was doodling, what later became my logo. He said, looked up. He said, man, you're wasting your time, bro. He said, you need to go do that. He's looking at this logo. He said, you need to go do that. He said, you don't need to be here. And I'm going to help you. I said, what? So think about it. Just like God, he used the authority of my boss on my job, who I was yielded to at the time, to send me off in a direction.
Yeah.
He came through the authority. He came down the authority of I thought that was like, that amazed me. So he gave me his blessing. He sent me off. Everything else fell in place. Now you need money, you need time, because barber school is Tuesday through Saturday, usually from about 7 a.m. to about 5 p.m. So it's a whole work day, unless you want to work at night. This is what he told me.
How long is the school for?
7.5 months.
Okay.
Or 9 months, depending on where you go. I went to 7.5 months. He said, well, since it's Tuesday through Saturday, you can't be here, so just work on Monday. Now, check this out. On Monday, we did these, what we call transfer runs to Chicago. We would drive the box trucks to Chicago to drop off equipment and pick up new equipment. He said, you just do transfer runs. So I came to work on Monday, did all transfer runs. He paid me extra for that. So my pay didn't really go down a whole lot because that one day made up for a lot.
Wow.
Talk about favor, bro.
Yeah, I'm listening to it.
Hold on, it gets better. My stepdad had just passed away. So my mom, she's in the house by herself. She feeling some type of way. She called me up one day. She said, hey, heard you trying to go back to barber school. I said, yeah. She said, I got a deal for you. I said, what you got? She said, I'll pay for you to go to school. You come and live here. But I need you to take care of a few things for me while you're here. And I'll take care of that for you. And my mom offered it to me.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Yep. That's the most important part. When I got born again and God called me in to start the ministry and he asked me to quit my job at the casino, I've been working 10 years, making $100,000 20 years ago. And I was like, are you sure? I'm making a lot of money. I could do a lot with this money. I could sew it. I could do all this stuff. And he's like, no, don't you quit. Give it up. And I was like, what am I going to do? I got no money.
Yeah.
And this guy called me up right at the right time. He said, God told me you can come live with me and you ain't got to pay no rent. You can't make these stories up, Alan. And this is where you follow the favor when you're trying to do what God wants you to do.
Yes.
Lean into the stuff that's happening like this, not in the stuff that you're trying to like stumble and force it. And
no,
it's never
I wasn't
working.
trying to force. I wasn't trying to be something I'm not. I wasn't trying to emulate anybody. I wasn't trying to beat none of that. This was all. Check this out. I didn't even have barbers around me. I didn't go to the barbershop on a regular basis growing up as a kid. This is just something that just happened. Like I had no other inspiration, meaning somebody in front of me doing it. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
So interesting enough, so I took my mom up on her offer.
Amen.
Right. And so that worked out. Check, box check. About 3 months in, I'm back in school. Everything good. I chose the school out of familiarity with the person that owned it. But that didn't work out in my favor because he wasn't there. He taught me one technique that I still use to this day. That's all I ever got from him. He was never there. He had his aunt running the place. Right. She was mean as a rattlesnake. She was meaner than evil. How about that? She was mean, bro.
At the barber school.
Man, he used to play that gospel music all day, every day. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I'm talking about that woman was something. And me, I realize now I didn't have a healthy fear of God. So I didn't have a healthy fear of authority. All right.
Ditto.
I didn't have a fear of man. Yes. None of that type of stuff. Right?
My dad died when I was little, and I'd never had anybody until I got into this last church I'm in now. I'd never had anybody push back on me ever, and if they did, I would just run or I'd fight back or kick and punch and tell them their way is worse.
For me, I would just push back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I not so much run, but check this out. So I walked in right away. I noticed something ain't right, and I called her. I was vocal about it. I said, "You supposed to have been done to other students, man. You supposed to be out 7.5 month program, bro. You been here for a year." She said, "Oh, well," she said, "What, bro? You supposed to have been done." I said, "I tell you what." Now I'm talking openly over the floors, probably about 12 students or whatever. I said, "I bet you when my time comes, I'm gone." I'm just saying. She yelled out that back room, "You leave when I say you leave."
Oh no.
I was like, man, she up in here pimping y'all, bro.
Yeah. Taking that money every extra month.
I was like, y'all cutting to her. She getting paid for it. Because in barber school, the way it works is you don't get paid. You pay a tuition.
And you still have to cut the hair of the people walk in?
You cut the hair of the people that walk in because that's your clinic floor and they pay the school.
Gotcha.
So if the person chooses to tip you, that's all you get. You get that tip that the person leaves for you.
Oh.
So if I got 12, 13 people cutting hair for me and I'm getting all the money off of it.
You want to keep them there as long as you can, of course. Yeah, that's just...
I'm going to keep them there as long as I
can. That's capitalism, yes.
Then we had another problem. We were supposed to start school at 8 a.m. every day. She didn't show up to 9:30. So we sitting outside waiting on her every day. Every day. Right? And one day I said, man, go give me something to eat, man. Sitting there waiting for this lady, man. She would pull up about the same time every day. This particular day, she decided to come early. While I'm gone, you give me something to eat.
Yeah.
I show up. She said, "You late." Okay, you late every day. Right? She said, "I'm charging you a $25 late fee." What? How you gonna charge me $25 late fee? You late every day. So we going at it, bro. We going at it. Now I already said some other things vocally, so she didn't really care much for me. I don't really care for much. It's known. You know what I'm saying? So we like this. No to no. You another one. Right? I don't know if she kicked me out or I quit. I know I left that day.
Yeah.
Check this out. Here's where the favor kicked in. So God's always directing us, right?
Yep.
He's always leading us. So down the street on the other end on Natural Bridge was another barber school, which I probably should have went to in the first place, but I didn't for no apparent reason. I left there from arguing with her, drove straight down the street to the other school, what I need to do to get in. She's told me everything. She said, you need a $1,250 deposit. And then, we'll go from there. I said, okay, bet. I had $250 in my pocket. The tuition I was supposed to pay, the payment I was supposed to pay at the school I was leaving, I kept it. I had $250 in my pocket. So at the end of the day, I go home. Me and mom just talk, just have a regular conversation. And I'm telling her about my day, right? I'm just sharing whatever happened. She said, man, it makes sense now. I said, what? She said, for the last 2 weeks, it's been on my heart to give you $1,000. I was like, what? She said, man, I promise you, the Lord been telling me for 2 weeks to give you $1,000. I said, for what? She said, I don't know. That's why I ain't do it. She said, just this morning, I'm in the mirror brushing my teeth. He's like, get that boy $1,000. Wow. And she said, now I know what it's for. She went in there and she wrote a check out, a personal check for $1,000 and gave it to me. That's my $1,250.
There ain't nothing.
You can't make this stuff up, bro.
That's the confidence of faith. Oh gosh, it's so good.
So this is the same day.
Yeah.
So guess what I did the next day? Went straight back to the other school, gave him the $1,250. Boom. I'm in.
Yeah.
Didn't skip a beat. And actually stayed less time than I was supposed to stay. Because I had built up. So what I didn't know was, I'm thinking I had to start all over. No, they took all those credits that I had accumulated from the first 2 schools and applied them.
Oh, wow.
And said, just do the rest. And you good. And so when I got to the school, the gentleman at the school, man, I have the utmost respect you can have for a person I have for this gentleman. Leonard, I can't think of his last name right now. He said I was like, when I came in there, if you take that can right there and you lay it on its side, it is what it is. But he said I was like that, and he turned me up right. Mm. So he said, I'm gonna take everything you already got, everything you already know, and I'm gonna shape it and put it into perspective. So I'm gonna teach you the what and the why behind it. I'm gonna teach you, and he did that.
Wow.
Man, it's lessons that I learned from him that I apply to this day. Here we are, 20 years later, 25 years later. I'm still doing the stuff he taught me. Yeah. How he taught me to do it, techniques, different stuff like that. And like I said, he had retired, but he returned during that class I was in. So I got to sit at his feet for about 5.5 months. Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, it was great. And I'll never forget the day, that first week I was there, he had all the new students lined up, and he had old students on the floor cutting. He looked at the new class, he said, 1, 2, 3. He pointed us out. He said, you're going to be all right. He said, rest of y'all wasting your time. I was one of the 3 people he said was going to be fine. He said he saw it on us when we walked through there. Yeah. He said everybody else wasting their time. He said they not for real. They ain't gonna do it.
That's the mark of a good leader too, by the way. Who can recognize that?
Man, he recognized he's on point. And the crazy thing, so you do all of that. So here we are, we're at 2004. When I finished and I go to take the test to get my license, do you know the same guys that was at that first school that should have been done a year before was like, what you doing here? I was like, no, what you doing here?
Right. Yeah.
You should have been done. They just not taking the test at the same time I'm taking it. Mm. That's when we had to go to Jeff City and do all that stuff. It was crazy, man.
You had to go to Jeff City to take the test to get to the certification?
We used to have to go to Jeff City, take a written and a practical test. It's like taking a driver's license.
And you got like a certification from the state of Missouri?
Yeah, it's a state license. It's a certified state license. Yeah.
Cut hair.
So check this out. The favor ain't stopped yet.
Yeah.
Because now I'm out of school. I gotta find somewhere to work. The guy I'm in school with, we like, yeah, let's go find. So we go to a bunch of different barbershops. Yeah, we excited. We gonna go work. Man, we walking out some guys. This was back when barbers had standards. They'd be like, come back when you got a license. I just got out, man. I can't take test the next month. He said, no, come back when you got a license. We heard that 3 times. We a little distraught. We like, right? And I kept hearing, I'm having a verbal argument because I can audibly hear, I'm driving in the car one day, Holy Spirit telling me, go back to where you were on Delmar. Nah, man, I ain't going back. Nah, I need you to go back on Delmar. Nah, man. I ain't going back. I'm not going back down there. And I fought and I kicked and I argued and I went back.
Yeah.
Bro, this happened. I walk in. There's a gentleman sitting in the chair across from the chair I was occupying. He said, you about to cut? I said, yeah. He snatched the cape off, got out of that guy's chair and got in my chair. Because the guy hadn't started yet. I thought that was the craziest thing. I didn't understand it. And he one of my closest buddies to this day. I met him in that moment. You know what I mean? And it was like, wow. Well, I was at this shop. Now remember, I had worked here for 5 years prior to. I had taken probably about a 2-year break.
Yeah.
I come back. I just want to get back going. I don't have no expectation. I don't have no vision. I have no plans. None of that, right? The guy that owns the place said, about a month and a half in, he said, hey man, why don't you buy this from me? I said, bro, I ain't got no money. Matter of fact, I owe you. He's like, look, he had enough foresight. Talk about leadership. He said, you'll figure it out. That's all he said. And walked away.
There's something about the here.
That's all he said. He said, you'll figure it out. Dude, 2 weeks later, I put every dime in cash in his hand and bought that place from him. No debt. Somebody gave me the money. Every dime. Every dime.
Wow.
All them seed I had been saying, all that giving I had been doing, that harvest came up when I needed it to come up.
Well, tell that story because that's got to be something, ain't it?
Man, that's how I live, bro.
I just live waiting for the season to come.
That's how I live, bro. I give, man. I sow. That's nothing, man.
Yeah.
It's nothing, bro. Look, I've learned as I matured over the years, I don't have to be primed. You don't got to prime my pump.
Yeah.
I know when it's time to give, or I see the opportunity to give, and I'm gonna give.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gotta say a whole lot to me. Like, hey, let's go.
But the return though, so you got to
Always respect him. I name all my seeds, bro.
Yeah. That's what people need to learn. Is people don't understand that when you sow, it's not just the tithes, the offerings, but what's the return on? What's our expectation? And if you're someone who's been doing a lot, you should have the testimonies of the expectations of the return.
Bro.
And that's what you're trying to describe is how the money shows up in your hand to get the whole business that you didn't even know you was going to be doing.
Exactly. I know it was in my heart. So there are small elements in my shop. You haven't been to the other one, but they are somewhat identical, right? There was elements that I desired to have way back then when I didn't even have a place, and I have them now. Give you an example. There's a shoe shine booth in the place, right? Mm-hmm. You know why it's there? I always wanted a shoe shine stand. Well, when I was building that shop, the opportunity came about the guy that was shining shoes had passed away, and the people that had it said, hey, we just want to get rid of it. Okay, that thing was brand new, bro. That is one big piece of wood. That's not a shabby. That's a nice shoe shine stand. I had people offer to buy it from me. I'm gonna eventually sell it, but right now I wanted it in there because I wanted it. Yeah. The barber pole that spins and lit up out front, I always wanted one of those. But it wasn't just any barber pole. There was this particular one that had the dome on top that lights up. I wanted one of those way back when I was drawing them haircuts on the paper. I got 2 of them now, right? So the chairs I have in my place in the city, they the old Coke and barber chairs. Now, these chairs are pretty expensive. These chairs from 1959, bro. Aside from needing new upholstery, they the best chairs you're gonna ever get.
Yeah.
I got 4 of them. Actually, I got 6 of them. I just need the other 2. They different colors, so I don't use them. Anyway, I have them now. These things were on my little vision board way back then. These little smaller elements, they didn't sit in the shop. They sit in there. And I had the desire to own the properties where my places were. Well, I own the property. You know what I'm saying? Little stuff like that. All those faith moments. Like one of them I own free and clear. I'm in the process of picking up another one in St. Charles, not far from here. Behind Lindenwood. Yeah. That's going to happen. I've sown for that. I never forget, this was not too long ago. My wife and I went to Chicago. Pastor took us to a FMA conference. You remember?
Yeah. Were you there Bill Winston, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one time we went. Well, anyway.
I've been there. I don't know if I went with you or not, but yeah.
Okay, it was the time I went with me and my wife. And Dr. Winston is like my spiritual godfather. He's like the godfather right now, right? Take nothing away from our pastor, but it's like he's speaking a voice that I can hear a little differently right now during this season of my life. So I'm like plugged in, right? And so I'll tell my wife, I say, I need to sow. I'm gonna see Dr. Winston. But I'm like, because I just know I need to get some seed in the ground. Right?
Yeah.
I said, nah, this can't be any seed. It's probably gonna be a pretty good number, right? But I didn't tell her what the number was. And so sometimes when I think my wife ain't on the same page with me, she all in. That's my dirty right there. Right?
Yeah, same way, man.
So
I had to have so many talks with Megan.
Man.
We sowed another seed today.
Right. So I told her beforehand what I was going to do. So we get there, and we're about to leave because we have to go. I think we're supposed to leave and go meet at this restaurant at a certain time or whatever. And the session is over. Everybody's going down front to Dr. Winston's. And she said, hey, you going to do what you said you was going to do? Oh, no, I'll do it another time. She said, no, you going to do what you said you're going to do. So I walk up. I see Pastor standing there. So I go stand behind him. I said, hey, I want to sew. He said, just stand right here. He said, that could just, all right. So I'm standing there and I'm nervous, bro, because I don't know how much. I know this got to be significant, right? I'm trying to hear from the Lord. Mm-hmm. So I take the check out of my pocket. I don't write many checks because everything is digital nowadays.
Yeah.
And I go to write the check, and John, the pen, got the moving, and it was the largest check I ever wrote up to that point.
Aren't those the best moments?
Right? And I was able to sew it, and I was like, So I walked with my wife and said, you do what you said you do? I said, yeah. She didn't ask me how much. I think to this day, she still don't know how much I sold. Right? And not that I was trying to keep it from her or anything.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's what it was. And so then I think it was a year later, maybe not a year later, maybe later that year, he came to our church to speak at the end of the year. I said, Dr. Winston, come on, I got sold again. She said, I want in on it this time. I said, huh? I said, I got a certain number in my head. I have to exceed what I did last time. She said, I don't care. I want in on it. I said, okay, well. So she came and she gave me some money. I said, oh, well, shoot. I had to get the seed in the ground. So when I have these things happen for me, I'm not surprised by it because, like I say, I'm constantly giving and giving and giving and giving and doing it, and I look for the opportunity.
I think it's very unfortunate that Christian church, if you're not in the environment that teaches about generosity, you have this perspective that either one, like, you're just sowing to the pastor. Like, they'd probably hear your story and be like, "Oh, he's just giving to the pastor."
Nah.
Listen, this is a principle of giving. This has nothing to do with the pastor. Take him out of it.
This is different.
At the same time, the flip side is like, we only give to the poor and the needy, and that's fine, and that's all good. But you also don't want to drive a car that works,
right?
And you got a poverty mentality when it comes to your own life,
right?
Because you're supposed to give it all away, and that's not how it's supposed to be neither.
So unconsciously, anybody that knows me, been around me for a period of time, probably has seen evidence of the quality of life improving significantly, right? I'm gonna just say in the last 7 years, 6-7 years. I've been married 6 years. So just before I got married, stuff just
yeah,
right. It's like
amen to the wife.
No. It's
not her. I'm saying like she's probably thank you, Lord.
No, she's a part of that increase. Meaning she was increased to me.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? But and then it put me in how would I describe this? Alignment. So for a good portion of my life, I was probably, you see these lights in this room, they are aligned a certain way. I was walking like this. Just out of alignment, right?
Yeah.
So it's like when I came together with her, I lined up and I kind of been on that. And I mean, things have just been working.
Yeah.
Like things have just been working. And so now I get deeper and deeper into it. Like I'm really looking forward. So the big vision is, and it's going to happen. It's going to come to pass. And I'm going to come and sit back right here and tell you about the rest of the story. The barber school, 4 locations, separate barbershop locations in St. Louis area. I own all the properties for all 5 of those. And then when I do it, go to Illinois and do the same thing. Duplicate yourself. Duplicate it all in Illinois. Another school and 4 more locations in the different parts of Illinois.
Yeah.
That's the big vision.
That's a great vision.
It's a big vision.
And so when you connect with God, I want to try and help people who might be hearing your story and be like, well, that's fine. He's got his own business. He keeps getting the money to open up the shops. Like, what God puts inside of us, he gives us the vision for. It doesn't always come to pass right away. You went through the valleys, man, and the ups and downs, and you had stuff in your personal life we're not talking about that was going on at the same time.
Absolutely.
And so now you're still believing, even with victories, even with saying I'm already a business owner. I'm already had the upswing on some of the stuff, and you're like, no, I still see bigger. The vision is still bigger.
So that being said, like, I think the definition of success is different for different people. Like, if someone was to say, well, you've been successful with this, to me, I don't see success because I'm like, it ain't complete.
Yeah.
I've had victories.
Yes.
But the success to me hasn't occurred until I complete the state of Missouri. Let me complete that part first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was okay, I had some success. And then when I started working on Illinois, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that type of thing. So that's how I see that. Now, this the thing, in the ditches and the part of it. The reason what makes that, the one thing that makes that vision bigger than me is you need people. People, you have to have people. People are the currency that makes all of it go. Barbers are, oh my God. Barbers are tough, bro.
How do you mean?
So the number one journey I've probably been fighting the whole time is leadership. Me being able to lead barbers who are, I was a renegade barber too, just renegades, man. Just no structure, no order, no, just all over the place. You got guys, they come in, they untrained, they unlicensed. They just out here cutting. We got one trick ponies. You know what I mean by one trick pony? You only do one haircut, but he gonna milk that one haircut. You got dudes that have horrible work ethics, no work ethic. You have people that have lifestyle things. I had a guy recently, earlier this year, come in, man. He was like the Tasmanian devil, bro. It was bad, man. I was like, man, that's probably the worst I've seen. So dealing with that constantly, because you trying to fill all the chairs and keep them full with productive people. But you have to keep compromising because people come in so beat up, raggedy. And it's like, so I have two right now that I really, really admire. Like one, he came to me, man, he like my poster child, bro. I need like 10. I asked the Lord for 10 of him. Give me 10 of him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then I have a young lady. She's not far away from her. They're remarkable. But what they did, they came in raw, hungry, and they yielded to me. Even when I wasn't worthy of being yielded to at the time, they yielded, and it produced for them. Now, others have come and gone because they refused to do the one thing that the other two did. They didn't yield. They don't buy in. They haven't bought in yet, so they still have the same struggle.
Yeah. Leadership's a hard lesson for people to learn. You had mentioned authority earlier in the conversation. That's something that took me a long time, even as a Christian, to be able to understand the reason for authority, the reason you submit to it, the reason you yield, because it builds your character for one, and then allows you to lead other people. That's the whole point.
But authority is God's plan, to protect our lives. That's His plan to protect our lives. Think about it. What's the number one thing you're gonna do for them kids?
Protect them.
Protect them.
Yep.
But you can only protect them to the degree that they
listen and obey. Because if they touch the stove after I told them not to touch the stove,
I can't stop the burn, baby.
No, that's right.
So that's the number. So the authority. So I didn't understand that either. Yeah. I didn't understand God's plan because if someone in authority gives you instruction, you following that instruction, all your success may depend on you following that one instruction that someone on authority. The doctor say, take 2 pills, call me in the morning. Yeah. I go, man, take these pills, man. And I wake up in the morning, stuff that got worse. Yeah. You know like, dang. Yeah. That's our fault, because I ain't listen. I couldn't obey. He don't know what he's talking about. He a fallible man just like me.
That's every area of life.
That's every area of life, right? So yeah, bro, it's such a journey, man. Like I say, I'm still walking in it. I love it. I don't regret any step or stage of it. Now, there are parts of my life that I do wish I would have done differently, but for the most part, I ain't got no regrets.
So what I love about your story is that we talked about, to write God's sense for your life, you need passion, vision, and you need faith. And we talked about the first two already, man. You have an incredible vision. So what's it look like to walk this out by faith? Your journey and trying to build a school and trying to build things. And even though you don't see them, you believe they're coming.
So, the school wasn't an original vision of mine. The school was, I was invited to do the school. I got a call one day from pastor. It's like 11 o'clock at night. It was a FaceTime call, right?
FaceTime?
It was a FaceTime call at 11 o'clock at night.
I'm in bed, sir.
I never FaceTime. I know 11 o'clock at night, right? So I'm looking like, man, why you calling me 11 o'clock at night? So I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up, bro? What's good? He said, man, I want you to see something. And he's taking the phone. He's at the Super Bowl. And he has the phone, and he's like panning the room where he is. He said, look at this. I'm like, what am I looking at? He said, just look at it. And I look. I said, look like some people cutting my hair. He said, yeah. He said, what this is, he said, I'm in a lounge at the hotel at the Super Bowl. So it's 11 o'clock here. They were in Vegas, so it had to be
2 hours later, earlier.
So it had to be like right 9 there.
Mm-hmm.
He said Steven Jackson has a school. The football player Steven Jackson
Yeah.
has a school in Vegas. He said he built this lounge for Super Bowl people, and he brought people from his school and his shops here to cut. And he said they've been here all day, all night cutting. Look at it, man. It was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing, bro. I was like, whoa. So I'm on the phone talking to the both of them. So I got a chance to talk to Pastor for a little while. I talked to Steven for a little bit. And he's telling me about this school. And he invited me. He said, man, come to Vegas, man. Call me. I want to show you something. I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no thought. I'm like, all right.
What time?
Right. I need to go to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so the next day, Pastor calls me back. He said, man, what'd you think? I said, bro, I've been chewing on that all night long. I said, I think you just planted something down in me.
Yes.
That wasn't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He said, bro, then he started telling me the rest of the story and we talked or whatever. So I'm like, man. So ever since, that's where I've been.
Yeah.
I've been on that. And so when I got in Joseph Business School.
You're taking a step of faith to go to a business school.
When you apply.
Because you already had a business.
I already had a business. So, but when you apply to Joseph Business School, they want you to have either already have a business or have a vision or a desire to open a particular business because that's what your whole project is going to be about. So I said, I'm going to do it with the school. Man, another favor moment, right? Another harvest of seed planted. So I go enroll in Joseph Business School and I'm ready to pay the tuition. I'm like, oh, people let me pay the tuition. Why? They said, oh, they scholarship the whole thing. What?
And you remember back to the seed that you sowed, the biggest check you ever wrote in just a second.
I don't know. I can't remember the timeline if that was before or after. Either way, I didn't pay for that because it was scholarship. And I didn't know it was scholarship. I didn't know this till a while later. I'm like, wow, they scholarship the entire class.
Wow.
For that particular one. Well, anyway, while I'm in school, I'm learning graduate level business school principles at graduate level teaching. At the same time, ministry as it relates to business, because they have a revelation from God's word on business that I rarely see or hear. Yeah. It's remarkable, bro. And so I'm in this and I'm developing this thing. And so by the time we're done, I have a complete official business plan that I can submit to any bank or institution if I want to get some funding. Like that's how solid it is. I'm talking about 3 to 5 years of financials, marketing, the whole nine, every detail.
That's so
built
cool.
on that.
Yeah.
While I was in it, and I started understanding things. Man, it was great. So I think I spent 17 or 18 weeks with that, bro. It was intense too. So they taught you how to pray about it. Every aspect of business. So I have it, and the opportunity came about recently where I could kind of step into it. And I think I shied away from it out of, I don't call it fear, but I think I was worried about the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So I got invited to take on a new space that was 3 times the size of my shop, the one on Manchester. I said, nah, man, I ain't just gonna triple my overhead like that for nothing. The guy said to me, scared money don't make money. That's some old hustler talk, right?
Yeah. That's what you needed in the.
I was like, yeah, you're going to be the one winning on this, not me. Yeah. So I was like, but then the more I think about it, I may circle the block on it.
Yeah.
I may circle the block on that.
You know what's interesting about vision from God, right? Is that when he shows up with it, when he says, hey, Abraham, who already has a relationship with God, but he's got to walk it out by faith. He's got to give him a vision. Here's your vision. I'm going to give you as many children as there are sand and stars in the sky, right? He's like, nah, I don't believe it. And so what's he do? He goes and makes a whole nother thing, trying to make it happen.
Make a whole nother baby.
Make it and trying to figure it out on his own will. But what we see in that story and every other story in the Bible that talks about the faith that people are walking around with when they get the vision from God, right? Gideon in the army, got to lower the army number. David, you're going to have to go beat the giant. Whatever the story is where they got to go act it out, where they got to do something by faith. It's always bigger. Always. Every single time. Bigger than what they can do by themselves or bigger than what they think is possible. Because if you can do it by yourself,
right,
you don't need him.
No.
You ain't going to rely on him. You ain't going to trust him. You ain't going to sow that seed because you just know, I think I can handle this.
And what I've experienced, he's sustained me all these years through all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even when it was time to move, I knew when it was time to move. And he sustained me. He had me when I couldn't see it. And here's another one. This is a big one. Don't discount invitations.
All right.
Meaning, give you an example. When I got picked up the second shop, we were right in the pandemic had just started. There was 8 weeks when they came to us. They said every non-essential business has to close, and they didn't give us a time period. It ended up being 8 weeks. My shop was a non-essential business at the time, so probably about a week or two into that, I get a call from a guy. He said, "Hey man, this guy got this barbershop. We trying to sell. You want to buy it?" No. Dude,
we're canceled.
No. Right. What do you mean buy a barbershop, bro? I got one, number one, and I ain't even got no money right now. I'm closed. You talking about buy another?
Yeah, no one can come and get a haircut.
Right.
Yeah.
You talking about buy a business while I'm closed, right? So that was an easy no. That was a hot sizzling no, right?
Right.
Man, I promise you, bro. It wasn't even a week later. I heard God's voice clearly. Why not? That's all he said. Why not?
Dude, when God asks a question, you know it's God. Because he's not here being like, you need to do this, sir.
Nah.
No, God will just ask you. He'll be like, why are you doing it?
Bro.
Why don't you try it this way? Like, he's just asking us.
It wasn't even in the moment. It was like a week later. Yeah. Why not? I'm like, why not?
That's how he talks to us.
I got like a whole bunch of reasons why not, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I called the guy back. Hey, man. All right. I take it.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him, right? Now, this is strictly by faith. And look. I'm not trying to conjure up belief or none of that type of stuff. I just called the man back and say, all right, let's do it. Yeah. So I went with him. I took a look at it. It looked like it was turnkey on the surface. It looked like it was turnkey. So I'm like, I'm getting a good deal on it. Yeah. They had an asking price, had a list and all that. He did. I said, tell her. So I looked at it the first time. I said, all right, I want it. I take it. Now, I'm not trying to figure out money or anything. Money is not even a thought in my mind. It's not, I didn't even have it, but I wasn't even thinking about it. Right. So I said, so then I told her, so a couple of weeks went by, I called back and said, man, they bailed out. They don't want to sell it. I said, oh well, no big deal.
Right.
Moved on. Well, a few months after that, I get another call from an agent. She's like, yeah, I heard you was interested in buying this barbershop a while back with somebody else. I said, yeah, it came up. She said, make me an offer. I said, huh? She said, make me an offer. I said, what you mean? She said, what do you think it's worth? I said, oh, well, shoot. Let me think about this. And so this agent was really, really good in how gracious she was, how patient she was, and how thorough she was. And she was working on behalf of her client, this older lady whose husband had passed, and this piece of property they had been sitting here for 7 years, inoperative, vacant. She just wanted to get rid of it. They're trying to get the most they can get for it. So I'm going back and forth with this. We come to a price agreement. So I go to the bank and try to get a loan. Check this out, bro. I go to this one bank and they tell me, they say, well, we make our own decisions, our own board. We don't have to go to anybody else. We don't know other underwriter or anything like that. She said, we looked at this and we feel like if we loan you this money to buy this, it's just going to sit there and you can't fix it up or get it running. It's just going to sit there and you ain't going to be able to pay the money back. This is what the bank representative told me. Mm-hmm. I said, are you serious? She said, yeah, we just feel like, nah, we give it to you, just gonna sit there, you ain't gonna do nothing with it. I said, all right, that's cool. So then a few things happen. I build up some money, I got some money. Not a long time go by. And I called her back, I said, hey, I got this amount of money. I wanna borrow. So and so. She said, yeah, well, we just feel like, I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do this with you. I use my own money. That's all I said, right? So I went back to the table, negotiated with the lady. And I promise you one day I'm in the middle of a haircut. Dude, I could hear the clearest ever in the middle of a haircut.
You're in your flow state.
It's crazy. I'll be sitting there praying and trying to hear. I'll be like, don't hear nothing. Man, I'll be in the middle of a haircut, bro.
Spiritually constipated anywhere else but when you're in the zone.
I hear so clear. And one day I heard, he said, call the bank and get proof of funds. That's all I heard. I never heard this before. So I know it's divine because I don't know nothing about it.
Right.
So I go to the bank and I say, hey, I need a proof of funds. And I got it and I emailed it to the agent. She called me right away. Okay. She's like, is this your offer? I said, yeah. I said, I'm gonna pay cash. He said, oh, okay, bet. Let's do it. And so we went through the process, did the earnest money, all that stuff, whatever, right? So my first instinct is, so I heard, now here I am. I don't even have an agent. I don't have representation. I'm flowing on my own. But I'm hearing steps, the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, right? He said, hire an inspector. I said, okay. So I hired a guy to come and inspect the whole place. And he was thorough. He put the hazmat suit on. He got up in the attic. He went under the crawl space. He went up in every inch of that place. He got done. He produced the inspection report. He said, he looked at it. He tried to explain it to me. So me, him, and the agent standing there. I said, man, this building ain't worth crap. He said, yeah, man, this ain't worth nothing. She agreed. We all agreed. Yeah, this young is worth it. Is all this wrong with it? He said, yeah. Then I said, hey, how much land worth? I just randomly asked the question. She said, I don't know. Let's look it up in the city records. They gave a number for the land. I said, tell the lady I offer $300 more than that. She said, bet. The lady took it. I paid cash for the place for pennies on the dollar.
Why wouldn't he do it?
It was favor. I couldn't have orchestrated that thing.
Of course not.
So look, this is what that taught me. When I went through that process, and then hold on. Not only did I pay cash for the place, I had more than enough money to fix it up. I gutted it.
Yeah, I remember.
I fixed everything. I took my time.
Yeah.
I took my sweet little time.
Did the floors, did the lights or something with the lights? Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I finally got it opening in, I think it was January 22. That was my deadline.
And life started opening up back by then. So.
And look, it was no stress, no toil, no struggle because I didn't have a payment. I didn't owe anybody.
Yes.
So I took my time. So I learned. So this is the thing. It was almost like he was building me and preparing me. Yeah. So now that I approach all these other ones, so I go in like, bro, remember we did that? Remember you did this? Remember we did that? Yes. I need you to do that again.
Yeah, the experience is built up.
What did they tell Moses? Always had to remind the children of Israel what God did for him. Brought you out of the wilderness. He would always remind, I brought you out of this. I brought you through this. I brought you through
Did not. Yeah.
Bro, I remind him, bro, we did this already.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. I need to get this one.
Yes.
So every time I'm invited to something now, my ears. Right. Yeah.
When you are walking out God's plan for your life, you got your passion, you got your vision. Now you're walking by faith. The Bible says you go faith to faith, glory to glory. What does that look like in practical steps? It means that you've stepped out in faith in one area and seen success. So now we got to take another step. It's like a step case, you know.
So I think not to take for granted our thoughts. Don't take your thoughts for granted.
Okay.
So in many cases, if you're saved, your thoughts aren't your own. Your thoughts either coming from the God of this world, Satan himself, and a lot of times those thoughts be coming from God the Father, and you just don't recognize that he's speaking to you through your thoughts, right? Because how often are you hearing audible voices?
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's so that something told me type. You know what I mean? It's no different than, okay, everybody's experienced this. Here's one that I know you can relate to. I have a Canon camera just like the one you have, right? And it had a memory card in it. I don't lose stuff.
Yeah.
I don't lose stuff. I don't even say that pridefully. But one day, I need my camera because I need the memory card to get the pictures off of it. I can't find it nowhere.
Yeah.
Where is my memory card in my camera? Okay, Holy Spirit, I need this. Let's go. Let's go. I need this. And I pray and he tell me. He said, this is playing. Vera got that memory card. I said, Vera got that memory card. He said, Vera got that memory card. I said, all right. So I go to my wife. Hey, you got my memory card? No, I ain't got that memory card. I said, but you used my camera that one day. Yeah, but I ain't got your memory card. So I'm still looking everywhere for this card, bro. Didn't find the card. The time and day came and went. And check out when the Holy Spirit told me she had the memory card. We're sitting in service.
Yeah.
And I go to sit in my seat and I sat down. He said, Vera got that card. And that's when I said it to her. She said, I ain't got that card. Bro, do you know in the course of time, I think it was a few months later, I went to go deal with that camera again. I saw Vera. I said, hey, just let me use one of the cards that you got. I just need a card for my camera so I can do what I need to do. She's okay. I got a bunch of them in my thing. I'll just go through it. So she going through the memory cards and she popped one in and she's going through. She's like, oh, there's some haircuts on this card. I said, that's my card. That's the card I told you you had.
That's a good Vera impression.
I said, the Holy Spirit was right all along. You had my card. Well, I didn't know I had the card, but he said you did.
Right.
And you said you didn't have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I felt vindicated in there. I'm like, I know how to hear from God. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I said all that to say this. When you know, you know.
Yep.
It's so plain and clear. So there's like, it's a thought that pop in.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's
this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
This is where the thing is you're looking for. And then the question, of course, we've given some people some real tips on how to hear the Holy Spirit, because it's hard for people who are like, they're walking aimless. They ain't got no targets in life, ain't got a vision, ain't got a passion. They're like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Like, 'cause there's a lot of people like that, you know, but listen to that
just
voice.
listen. Or just follow the thing that keep coming up.
Yeah.
Because if it's something else, it won't go away.
Yeah. Yeah. That thing
Like,
never goes
even
away.
this here, man, let me tell you how much of an honor this is for me to be here and you doing this. Because I'm your biggest supporter. I'm your biggest fan, bro.
I appreciate that.
Like, I want to see this happen for you on a level, like on a level. Like, I want to pull up one day and we can pull up on a 40,000 square foot property and like, yeah, this testimony house, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everything that's
Big
going
sign
on
in the
it,
front yard, parking lot full of people. It's
you know what I'm
like,
saying? I want Testimony House to have the type of stories come out like some old Oral Roberts type stuff.
Okay,
you know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes.
Yeah, you know how Oral Roberts, they got down. Them guys got down, right?
Get down. I'm working a little 3-piece too.
Yeah. I'm talking about so that's the type of stuff. So I'm excited to see that stuff happen for you. But again, how did those guys go about doing it? I'm sure they had a prayer life. They spent some time in the Word, and then as you do that, it'll start to shape your thoughts because He's leading you. It'll shape it. Your thoughts aren't your own. Like, why am I thinking about this? Like, how do we filter the thoughts? Well, some stuff is explicit. That's not Him.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Yeah. When he asked me to quit my job at the casino and leave all that money, I didn't come up with that.
Right. Right.
How do you know it's from God? Like you said, the divine, when he said the words that you never heard before about the proof of sale.
Proof of funds. Yeah.
Proof of funds. You know, how do I know God's talking to me? Because he says stuff I've never heard about.
Right. I don't know nothing about that. Ain't never heard of. I ain't talking to no real estate person. I don't got nobody leading me, guiding me, direct.
Right.
None of that. Yeah. So that was the thing. I made that whole purchase on that property without an agent. So we got down to the table, and the agent that was handling it, she said, "So who's your agent representing you?" I said, "All this time it's just been me and you." She said, "Well, you want me to do it for you?" I said, "You deserve it." So she took commission on both sides, and I was okay with that. Cause she did all the work.
Yeah.
But I didn't have another man in front of me trying to do all that. That's how I know it was the Lord. And to this day, here we are, 3 years down the road, man. That thing. So check this out. It's an interesting thing. That place is more profitable than my other place that's busier.
Right. Because it's paid for cash. It's Dave Ramsey, and there ain't no debt on it.
I couldn't have came up with that on my
that's right.
own,
That's right.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
In the middle of COVID.
In the middle of COVID.
Everybody in the natural would have said, "Alan, don't you do it.
Yeah.
Alan, don't you dare do it."
Like, why? Like, brothers don't even make
You
sense.
can't even get a haircut right now.
Right.
Yeah. They would have had every reason, and they would have thought they were right, and they were all wrong. That's how the Lord works. If you think you're going to do it on your own, if you think it's going to make sense, it don't. When God made David king, it didn't make sense. When God told Abraham and Sarah they're going to have a baby, it didn't make sense. When God told Noah to build a boat, it didn't make sense. When God told Alan to buy a barbershop in the middle of COVID, it does not going to make sense.
So here's the other side of it. How simple, how simplistic. What do you do for a living? I'm a barber. Oh, they don't even do anything. They don't make any money.
That's ridiculous.
It's
Everybody gets haircuts.
Right.
That's your pool of clients is every person on earth.
But that's because I think people are thinking about it from a labor standpoint, right? No. So here's where my vision comes into place. Do you know how profitable? I got a school, 4 locations of properties, I own 5 properties, a school, they all running, probably paid for. Do you know how profitable I am? I get to that point, bro.
Yeah, I imagine it's gonna be.
So think about it. Retirement. What does retirement look like? Keep it running. You ain't got to stand there and cut the hair. I can't be in 4 places at 5 places at once. I ain't trying to be. That's where the people. Yeah. That's where the people come in, because now the school is gonna feed the shops.
Yep. And you don't need to be so desperate for money that you keep them in there for 9, 12,
Nah,
15
bro.
months past.
I'm getting a million out of there, man. I'm getting a million out of there. So since he entered that vision into my heart, something else happened. So I meet all these different guys that masquerade as barbers. And I dig deeper and deeper into it because I was like, man, I got to change the mindset. I got to get them from grassroots. I got to get them at the beginning and change the mindset, the attitude, all that. Because I say they rogue. I mean, rogue, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like people got to the point they don't even care no more. I want to challenge you to do this. Anybody that's watching this, listening to this right now, I'm going to challenge you to do something. I want you to pay attention to it. Next time you walk into a barbershop or a beauty salon, I want you to look around. See how many licenses you see on the wall. I dare to say the ratio is probably 1 to 5. 1 license for every 5 barbers. You're going to go in some places, you're going to see no licenses on the wall. That's the state of Missouri fault for allowing that to exist, though.
It's interesting to me when I think, like, as you mentioned sort of the state of barbershops and beauty salons earlier, and I got to thinking, like, if you look at the big chains in America, the Great Clips and the Fantastic Sam's and stuff like that, and I've been in a lot of those in my lifetime, because that's what you do. It's like McDonald's for haircuts. You know what I'm saying? You just go to those places. And I go there, and I go to the same store, yet it's different people every week. I'm getting a different lady every single week cutting my hair. There's no standard. And also, where do they come from? And why are they not sticking around? Like, why are they floating around like butterflies in the wind, you know?
Well, that's a little bit different, because I think those type of places, they get their people from cosmetology schools.
Yeah.
Which I find very interesting, because why would you go train? Cosmetology and barbering are 2 different things. 2 totally different. Even the training and the schooling are way different.
Yeah.
Like in cosmetology school, you get a few hours handling the clippers, just a few hours.
Yeah.
And barber school, the majority of your hours actually is 850 of your hours are going for just hair cutting.
Yeah.
Right. And you get other stuff on styling and like all the other, it's like small 10 hours here, 10 hours, that type of thing. So why would you go to school and train the majority of your time on styling only to leave there and specialize as a job, the thing you spent the least amount of time on?
Yeah.
That's why they're not very good. And to add to that, they have these time limits they put on them. So nobody's going to get a good haircut in 10, 15 minutes. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
So you come to a barbershop where the guys were trained by barbers in a barber school. That's why the quality of the haircut is so much better, because they've spent time training on that. And you got guys taking an hour and a half, which I think is too long. A haircut shouldn't take more than a half an hour, 35 minutes at the most. But it's good. The quality is way different because of the training.
Right.
So I never understood how these corporations build these big places on people on something they don't know how to do very well.
Yeah. I see the barbershop. This is my perspective from the outside looking in. You see it, and it's sort of like a one-man show, typically, the barbershop I'm talking about. Like the guy who owns the store, cuts the hair, he might have a couple guys in the chairs with him or whatever. And you never see it grow past that for that individual, typically, right? So that's why we have the Great Clips in all the cities, right? So what I'm hearing from you and what I'm sensing is that, like, you're building a blueprint, not just for yourself to have a Missouri location in the school, but in a Illinois locations in the school, but to franchise it so people can buy how you did it.
I don't want franchise. I want to keep it private. So this is what drives me. We go back to the book of Genesis. And he talked to him. He said, created man in his image and his likeness. He told him to be fruitful. He told him to multiply. He told him to have dominion over the earth. So I just took those elements. I want to dominate my industry. So how do I dominate my industry? I have more stores than anybody else in it, right? I control the flow of it, meaning from the beginning to the end, right? So you control all the distribution, which is the barbers, the schools, and all that type of stuff and all that. That's the dominance part. Be fruitful. So if I can make one shop fruitful, I multiply it, and I can make 2 shops fruitful, 3 shops, 4, so on and so on. And then when you get the whole thing, you take it out of one state, because one thing about barbering is the rules are different in different. They're similar, but they're different in every state. I take it out of the state of Missouri, then I go do it in Illinois because it's just across the river.
Yeah.
do the same thing there. And then when I'm successful there, what's the state neighboring on the other side?
Yeah, any of them. Indiana, Ohio.
Don't even matter,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
We going there.
Yes.
So you look up and you have a privately owned section of the industry that's been dominated by one person.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a story because this is going to speak to that.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Walton, Walmart. He didn't get started with his own store. He was running another man's store, and he built it. And he did the same thing he's doing in Walmart, but he did it in this other man's store. This other man was like, I don't need you now that you've set it up. He kicks him out. But before, like, in the transition of him, he's going to get this other store. So he starts his first Walmart in Arkansas, and they say it's the location. So he's running 2 stores. One's not a Walmart, one is a Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And he's traveling back and forth to them or whatever. And it's become a lot. And so he starts taking, like, private, like, hops, jets. And so in the middle of it, he's like, well, how much am I paying you to fly me to this place or whatever? He's like, so he ends up getting his license to fly a plane. So now he's flying himself. And so now he opens a second. And what happened in that transition is, even though he got kicked out of the first store, he realized he could run 2 stores. First time he ever had a vision to have multiple Walmarts. He was just like, I'm just doing this one store for me.
Right.
And so when he got the license to fly, now he's flying over. Now he's seeing all the intersections and all the places he could put the next store. And he opened up 300 stores across America, and he was running privately every single one of them. And that's what you're talking about.
It's the same thing, bro. Because I'm be honest with you,
Get you a private license. You're going to start flying planes.
I never had the thought in my mind to have more than one. You get that one shop, you happy. Yep. I'm content. And I think one day it probably just came out of my mouth, I'm going to get multiple locations. And then realize what I was saying. And then I was invited to do it for the first time. And I went for it. And so check this out. I still, to this day, I go to both.
Yeah.
I don't have to, but I do because I want to. I got the energy to do it right now. And I got a couple of different reasons why I do it, but I still do it. But I can easily not go to one because I already told everybody when I close on this St. Charles property, I ain't coming to none of these. I'm gonna be there all day, every day. You won't even see me. You'll just see evidence that I've been here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. You realize you learn how to duplicate a system.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to the point where Joseph Business School helped me structurally. It's helped me organize. It's helped me to, when I buy now, I buy multiple because I'm buying the same thing twice. So everything I do for one, I do for the other.
Yeah.
It's automatic. It's all autopilot. So when I get to a certain point, it's nothing to just, oh, well, we already did that. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. And I think this faith thing is such a, I'm going to do it no debt.
Yeah. Amen.
Bro, I paid off all my credit cards. I ain't trying to put nothing on them.
Good for you.
And if I do put something on, I'm going to pay it off before the month over.
Let's go.
You see what I'm saying? But that was a mindset shift.
Right. Borrow a slave to lender. Hard to get that.
I don't even want to borrow no money to buy this building.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm not going to say whether I am or not. All I know is I'm going to get it.
Yep.
I may pay cash for it. I may borrow to get it and then pay it off super early.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm open to all of it. Dude might just call me and give it to me.
That's right. We don't know how God's going to work out that.
I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Walking by faith. We ain't
you know
walking. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly know how you're saying. And I have to say, it's been such a joy to be in your environment because you are so hopeful. And it's hard to find people who really have tapped into what God wants them to do, and they're trying to take it to a next level. Those are the people that really excite me, because when I got born again and I had the revelation that God has a sentence for your life, and I was so desperate to find it, Alan. 6 months praying on my knees every night, Lord, what do you got for me? Lord, what do you got for me? Not tying it to communication or anything. I didn't care what he wanted me to do. But I asked people, I said, what's God got for you? And I'm asking all these Christians I go to church with, and they're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Everyone's clueless. And I was so sad to know that all my friends, people that I'd grown up with in the Bible studies, and I'm like, you guys don't know what God wants you to do. And that is so heartbreaking to me. It's part of the reason we're doing the ministry now. It's like, I have to let people know.
Help people identify what they need to be.
Yes.
So it's interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you first came to the Spirit Church, the first area you served in was the communications with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. You just said earlier, every time you entered the world of broadcast, communication, radio, anything like that,
It broke. Yep.
And so you were her best person. I know this for a very long time, right? Probably all the way up until she stopped doing it. Well, look at what it turned into.
Yep.
You took a whole department, bro, and you built something organically that he had been trying to make me build for a long time. I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I didn't even see him in me, because you don't know until you get there.
Yeah.
What God's trying to do in you sometimes.
Yeah.
And so for everybody who's out there and doesn't know that God's talking to you and he has something for you, go and ask him and find it. And just, that's what I was trying to get to, was that being around you, I get so, in my own life, I want to bust through walls when I get around other people who want to bust through walls.
Yeah, that's how I am.
You know?
That's how I am.
And in the Christian environment, other than the leaders of the church, typically you hardly see it.
No, because, traditionally churches were always led you to believe poverty can't do, God is sovereign type of mindset. My dad, I remember challenging him, young me, probably 20s, 30s me. When I say 20s, I think he had passed by the time I was in my 30s. But anyway, he used to go, when he finally got into church, he would always say, well, God is sovereign and it is what it is and we can't control what the Lord is doing. I'm like, no, bro. No, you got full control. Let's go. And it would bother me that the people around him had this mindset that they instilled, because he would be in the hospital. He'd be sick all the time. He'd be in the hospital. And we sitting in there and they, oh, the Lord and Brother Clay. And I'm like, man, that's some crap, man. Come on, get up, man. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Yes.
And we would get into like literal debates in the hospital. I'm like, no, man, you're going to stay in there if you keep on thinking and acting like that. And like he couldn't, and the people around him couldn't get past it, to the point where I had to separate myself, man.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I hate being in environments where people ain't got the faith or people are not going places. I'm like, look, man, my time now that I'm in my 40s, I recognize it. Like, I'm limited left on this earth, and I ain't trying to spend it, unfortunately, unless I minister to them with people who don't.
No, I'm with you, bro. I want to be around dogs right now.
Yes.
Now, like it's hard for me. Like I gotten to the point, and I don't say this arrogantly. I say this very humbly. Sometimes I don't want to be the smartest person in the room, and I'm not talking about smart from a book standpoint or education standpoint. I'm just talking about big picture.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, why we got a bad attitude about that again? Or how we gonna approach that? How we talking? What you say?
Yes.
That type of thing. I don't want to be around it. Man, when me and my wife got married, bro, I think the influence I see, I didn't even know I was capable of certain things, like to see her confidence go through the roof. She just got a huge promotion at her job. She was just up for an Emmy last week, bro.
Yeah.
She got snubbed. But
favors in the family. It's fine. Yeah,
I'm just saying, but just to see this stuff happening on my wife, like she like a different person, bro. And I don't even mean it in a bad way. Like, she's just, I love it, bro. I be like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. My son, he still plays football. He's in college. He's a senior this year. He graduates. And every week, the morning before a game, I send him these long texts. And it's building them up. It's encouraging them. And then when I see this stuff manifest on the football field, I was like, what I tell you? He was like, yeah. It's like to see him.
Yes.
It's like I put that in him. Like, I want to see it manifest. Man, I seen him take over games, bro. I was like, man, this dude went crazy out here today. And I start thinking about the text that morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we love it. So when he's done with college, whatever he decides to do, he got the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I tell him all the time, bro, when you figure out what you want to do, come out at me. We're going to do it.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm going to make it happen.
You've been such an encouragement to me personally, but also last week I posted a video where I was at the barbershop.
Yeah. Man, I heard everybody saw that video, man.
Can I tell you, I don't know what happened. Of all I've made, I mean, I spent the whole year making a video every day. This year I'm doing the same thing. Plus I'm doing these, and like, of all the videos I put up in the last 2 years, your barbershop video has gotten more. I mean, I'm getting text messages. I had 500 people at the church say, I saw you had your black barbershop. Pastor was sharing it in a group thread. I didn't even know. He's like, yeah, Pastor shared it with me. I was like, wow. I didn't even talk to Pastor about it. I don't know how to do it. So,
and then the guy you told me, he inquired. He wanted to come and be a part of it himself.
Yes,
you know
and then I got a text message. I didn't tell you yet. I got a text message today from a guy who was like, hey, could you give me the name of that barbershop? that you was at because I want to go down there. That's the favorite. Like you said, I don't have to get an advertising card out.
Nah, man. I'm talking about over the years since I started. I don't think I've ever solicited myself. I can tell you.
Not to say that marketing's bad, but
no, marketing is great. Yeah. But marketing doesn't always work because I wasted a lot of money on marketing. I spent money and it didn't yield the fruit it was supposed to yield. But check this out. I'm gonna go all the way back. I can see myself standing in the lobby on a post as an usher at the former church we used to go to, and people will walk up to me and be like, "I heard you cut hair. You got a card?" That's how I met Pastor Inez. That's how I met Pastor Simeon.
Yeah.
They showed up at the shop. And there were other guys during that time. They just showed up one day. And bro, when I say even the countless number of people that come through and support it now, man, it's like, it makes me tear up, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe it. I believe it.
Real talk.
You've had an influence on hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. I just recently saw it when I was in there that day.
Yeah.
Yes, there was people from the church, but there was another guy, a lawyer guy. He's in lawyer school or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what his faith background or whatever is, but you're talking to him by faith, and you're talking about how Jesus is going to help his life.
I got talking about quality of people. I couldn't have did this myself. Lawyers, doctors, people just of all walks of life, just super quality. But that young man you're talking about actually was in medical school.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he's Muslim. He's from I think he's from Pakistan. I think.
And it's still attracted to the light of the haircuts.
Let me tell you. So I was telling a story about how I used to always encourage him because apparently it's pretty hard to get in medical school, right? It's not everybody that applies to medical school not gonna get in medical school, right? And so I'm like, every time he tell me, every time I say, "Hey, bro, this was gonna happen. We're gonna do this." Just kept on encouraging him, and it finally came to a day where he thought he didn't get in. He got a call at the very last minute. Someone had got into the medical program at Mizzou where he was going, and they dropped out. He didn't make the cut, but they dropped out the first day. So he gets a call. "Hey, can you get here? We have a spot that just opened up." So he said he hightailed it down there the next day, right? He's in. He can't believe it. He's going out of his mind because he's like, yo, he picked up the phone, bro, out of all people. He called me.
So wild.
And he said, "Bro, guess what just happened?" And he was so excited, man. We laughing, we rejoicing on the phone, we jumping up and down. I was like, "What?" He said, "Man, I had to tell you, bro, because you kept saying it. You kept saying this was going to happen. You kept encouraging me, bro." So this is what I realized in all of that. Yes, I probably influence people, but there are a handful of people that walk in those doors, sit in the chair, that influence me. There are some that do that. I could probably name about 5 of them, but I probably influence more, and I don't take that lightly. I don't take that for granted.
Yeah. It's a mission field. It's a ministry work.
Yeah.
People say, "Well, I just cut hair." Shut up, bro. I seen it. I seen the results. I seen the fruit. You're getting a phone call from a guy who got into medical school, a Muslim.
Yeah.
He's not a family member.
That's my
He's
guy,
not your
man.
cousin.
Yeah.
You don't know him from nobody. He walked in the shop to get his hair cut, and you're the call.
Man, it's countless numbers. So the people I used to befriend and have the biggest influence on was I used to get a lot of WashU students because my place was not far from WashU. But even when I moved, I had a lot of WashU students. Bro, I used to love the WashU students, bro, because they green, man. And whatever, if you saying something positive, bro, they sucking it up, man. They're like, "Yeah, bro, really?" And then one thing about that Indian/Pakistani community, I have such admiration for. If one person says it's good, the whole community coming.
Wow.
I mean, one dude was sending like 12, 15, 30 people in there.
Yeah.
One guy.
That's how we grow to 4 stores. You know what I'm saying? So crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But so yes, I don't take it lightly, man. I love it. So when I hear people say things to me like, "Oh, you're just a barber. You just cut hair." I was like, wow. I remember one time, man, it kind of hurt my feelings. There was this young lady that said, she said, we were talking about something. I was trying to help someone in her life. She was telling me she was trying to help her find a job or whatever. And I said, "Well, maybe I can help him out." She said, "How you going to help him? You just a barber. You just cut hair." My eyes did like this. I was like, wow. I said, she don't even know. Like, the field that he's in, I got guys that I trust that trust me that a conversation can lead to, you know what I'm saying, a lot of things. Like, so don't discount, "Oh, you just a barber, you can't do nothing." Bro.
It's wild. All right, Matthew, you're just a tax collector. Peter, you're just a fisherman. David, you're just a shepherd.
Man, at my wedding, my closest friend in the world, Simeon, he wrote a speech inspired by his son. The little guy, I've been cutting his hair since he was getting haircuts.
Yeah.
He inspired the speech in his dad, and he said, he's not just a barber. And he wrote a whole best man speech, and it was called Not Just a Barber.
Wow.
To the point, bro, man, I was boo-hooing.
I bet. I'm boo-hooing now.
So my wife was laughing because myself, Simeon, and Pastor, man, we crying like babies, bro. We sit there like, while he reading this speech, man. But it was so real, bro. It's like, there was nothing more genuine than that in that moment.
Yeah.
Because, like, right in that moment, all those years had flashed before my eyes,
Yeah.
bro. All that journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I don't take that lightly. To see kids now that was babies, to see them graduate from college, to see them start lives, I got to witness all of that, bro.
Yeah. It's big time.
It's big time, bro. You see that wall you got over there? I'm planning one now, so I'm taking pictures of kids now. Because I want to come back and say, he was 7 on that picture.
Yeah.
Now he's 32.
Yeah. That's a good time.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He was sitting in the chair, that type of thing. So, yeah, man, it's exciting, bro. Like I say, even for you, man, I'm so excited, bro. And you already got the team. They just don't know it yet.
They don't know it yet.
That little drummer over there?
Yeah.
She gonna be
I know. We got a whole band. We got a whole,
You know what I'm saying?
Tonight Show ready to go.
Yeah, you got you. They just don't know it yet. So big picture. We talked about this.
Yeah.
You said it's a ministry, but it's not a church. Two different things.
Going for a testimony house, yeah.
For testimony house.
Yeah.
So, do you see it now? Like, do you really see it? Like, as like that thing really entered your heart yet? What you pressing for it to be?
Yeah, this is. I had that conversation with you, and then I heard I was at the conference before I had the conversation with you. I was talking about I was serving at a conference that hired me to run the cameras, and I'm sitting there, and this guy's talking. He's like, and for 2 years, I've been almost 3 years now. I haven't been doing videos too much. I've been doing some social media stuff, but not like videos like this in a long time. And the guy up there, and he spends 20 minutes talking about why aren't you using the gifts God's given you to do the things God's called you to do? Why'd you set it down? And even if it's not doing what you think it should be doing, it doesn't give you the right basically to set down God's gift because it's not working out how you thought it should work out. I'm just like, all right, Lord, I hear you. So that's when I was like, all right, I'll dip my toes back in the video waters, you know what I'm saying? And then when I had the conversation with you, I was like, no, I'm not dipping my toes in, I'm going all in. And now we're doing 3 videos a week. Now and it's like, I don't know what the end result is in terms of virality or the purpose of it, but I have a plan for what I want to see happen,
bro.
And I just believe God's going to do it.
All I can say is it's bigger than you think.
Of course. If it wasn't, I don't need him.
It's bigger than you. Now I'm talking about like what you're going to experience is way bigger than you think, man. Like last night when I was listening to that I sent you, when the guy said, we don't have forever to keep waiting to do this.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah, it's a gut punch.
I know it was a gut punch for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, he said, why would I try to stop you from doing it, but help you figure out how to do it? And if God didn't say do it, how to shut it down?
Yes.
I don't think God telling you to shut it down, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So we got to figure out how to make it better, how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%, bro.
100%. And it's coming. Addiction to Purpose, December 1st, when these gamblers are getting launched in Missouri. I'm here for you. Bro. We'll get you set up.
So I think that points to, because who's the generation that gambling is focused on? It's the next generation.
It is, because these college age students are the ones who are going to get hooked into it.
So we got to go after them.
Because you are a sports fan for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got your jerseys in the closet, your hats, you got your baseball caps and all that. But that's like your culture of sports fandom.
Right.
I'm going to go to the game, I'm wearing the hat. These kids today is they're rooting, like if it was your son, he's rooting for your same team. But when he goes to the game, now he's being influenced by all the people saying, no, you need to bet on it too. No, you need to bet on it too.
No. So you know how subtle it is?
Yeah.
Fantasy football.
Yes.
Oh, I got him on my fantasy team. They didn't do well. I won in the pool.
Yeah.
Little stuff like that. Like I was never into fantasy football. I don't know. I just didn't have an urge. Had a guy recently invite me right before the season started. He said, hey, get in this pool. Last year, the pot got up to $775,000. He's like, 3 people had to split that. You should get in. All you gotta do is pick 1 team a week.
Yeah.
It sounds so enticing, right? It sounds so simple to
make
do,
it that
right?
way. Yeah.
But that's
anybody can do
that's the subtle hook.
Yeah.
Get that hook in you, and you thinking that's your source. So that's what helped me not ever get off into gambling. I recognize God, and God alone is my source. Everything else is a resource.
That's right.
I gotta let my dog out of the house. He come back in the house with a bag of money in his mouth, bro.
Yes. When you get the revelation of it, you do believe those types of things can happen. On the picture of the wall you talked about, like there's a check there. Our mailbox was broken. I'd been out of a job for 100 days. And I have no money. Whatever money I had was gone. And I had this, my car note was due the next day. $270, I remember. And there was 2 checks. They got this one that was a big one on the wall. We call it our miracle check because the number 100 in the Bible means miracle. And there was a letter from that person that said, we heard you left the casino. I never met these people. Never met them. Not one time. After I quit, one of my coworkers was telling my story. My testimony was telling it at the table. You're not going to believe this crazy dude. He quit this job to go start a Christian ministry. And talking about in the unsaved environment of the church. And these people sitting there, dude, guys like, get him. And they won a poker tournament, and they just shipped me the money. And they said, Lord just told us to give you this. Yeah, so
they gave you the poker money.
Gave you the poker money.
Here's where you dispel religion. Yeah. You just said something. So I've heard it said, well, you can't take that dirty money and use it in the kingdom of God, right? Right?
Yeah, right, bro. America can write me a check tomorrow.
The money itself ain't the problem.
Yes, that's right.
Because I can take that dirty money, and guess what? Now that I'm putting it to good use and doing the will of God with it, it ain't dirty no more.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to win all that poker money and keep it.
And I didn't do nothing dishonest to get it.
That's right. Look, I'll cash check anytime. Lord help me. Let me get it. Out of the dog's mouth, out of the mailbox that's broken. You know what I'm saying? Another check that came from somebody sold some furniture. They were like, hey, we saw what you were doing. We want to sow a seed. This kind of stuff shows up regularly in the lives of those who walk out the principles and have the faith to believe for it. And it's not about, well, I just got a job and worked hard for it. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get free tuition. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get, you just need some upholstery on the chairs,
So this is a saying I have in my house. Start day one we got married. We'll always have everything we need when we need it, and then some. We lack for nothing.
That's right.
That's always from day one. Guess what our lives have been like? We've always had everything we needed it when we needed it, and then some.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I expect to live like that now. Like I don't get bent out of shape about nothing financially no more. Well, I just don't get bent out of shape. Like, boy, you be like, oh, hey, what you worry about that for? We be all right.
Because if I'm worried about it at this level, how could I possibly be able to steward it at a larger level?
Right.
When the pressure is going to be so much bigger. No, it's still a faith thing.
Man, I remember there was a time in my business where I would struggle to pay the overhead, the bills, right? I remember that. And it was just, I didn't know what to do about it, what to do with it. It just felt like I was just stuck in that place for a long time. And when I got to a certain point, man, it's like, I don't even think about it no more. I have to put that stuff on automatic, man. I turn my back, go about my business.
That's right.
And then I look up, and if I finally do look, I'm like, hey, I'm doing all right. All right, well, we be all right. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I've gotten over that hurdle, but it had to happen here.
Yep.
It had to happen here.
Yep.
And then before I ever saw it manifest. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, man, and here's the other side of it. As I climb up in life, whether it's acquiring things and stuff like that, I ain't gonna apologize for it.
No.
I ain't gonna hide it. I'm just gonna do me.
Because the same people who are gonna yell at you on the way up would yell at you on the way down.
You know what I'm saying?
I told you. You can't win for losing. You can't make anybody happy.
I ain't doing that, bro. I look after who I was supposed to look out when I was supposed to look after them. But other than that, bro,
I'm trying to do what God's asked me to do at whatever level He's asked me to do it at. And if He wants me to have it, I'm gonna have it.
I'm gonna have it. Because this is what I learned. If you think about it, man, we don't live in a country where kings or ever existed, whatever. But a king's glory always showed you how well his kingdom was doing. So a lot of times you had a good king, and he believed in commonwealth. So he took care of the people around him. He took care of the people in his kingdom. But you may have had an evil king. He didn't care nothing about commonwealth. Give me his all mine, all the gold mine, all the silver mine. So he said, no, hire the people over there starving. Well, guess what? As I go up, ain't nobody around me gonna hurt. Not those around me. Because if I can contribute, I'm gonna contribute. I'm gonna contribute big. Yeah. But I've experienced that. That's why I can do it. That's why I believe in it. I can name some folks for it, did some stuff for me, man, coming through the years, man, just make me cry. Yeah. I don't forget that stuff. Mm-hmm. I learned generosity firsthand. Yeah. So I don't mind being there.
That's showing off too.
Man,
it's good, man. It's been good.
Great, man.
I appreciate you coming on. If you want to get a haircut, guys, I want to let you know. Where's it at? Manchester?
So, Rock Hill location, located at 9849 Manchester Road, Suite 1 in the Berry Roads Crossing Shopping Center. And location number 2 is 6167 Lillian Avenue in St. Louis City, right at the corner of Goodfellow and Lillian.
Yeah, you got an app, and I'm going to put the link in the description.
We got the app, got the website, we got the whole nine. And then, coming soon, St. Charles location at 2305 Drosty in St. Charles.
All right.
Coming soon, look for it.
And if anybody wants to sow a seed into the Drosty.
It's happening, baby. It's happening. It's going to happen big. Dude, so this is the bad part about that. That land is like a whole acre, but the building is so small sitting on it. Yeah. So I got all this land. So we're going to have some outdoor activity going on.
Yeah, barbecue. What can we add to the barbershop?
No, we're going to do what the fall festival is going to look like.
Oh, okay.
We can do stuff like that out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be great, man. Radio station there. Matter of fact, you come do a broadcast live.
Let's do it. I'll do it.
It's going to be on.
Get you a haircut, get you a testimony. Come on.
Yeah.
Testimony barbershop night.
There we go.
I love it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching today's broadcast. I will see you in the next video. Until then, we pray you discover a future and a hope for your life today.
Amen.
We ain't trying to blend in. If you're ready, come on with us, my friends. Come on. We can change the world. Hey, we can change the world. Let's go.
What changes the world? The only thing that ever really changes the world is when somebody gets the idea that love can abound and can be shared.